Hello everybody and welcome back to another C++ programming exercise. And today we're going to be doing programming exercise 3 of chapter 8. Now programming exercise number 3 is actually a polar opposite of everything that is in programming exercise number 2 of chapter 8. It says that it takes as parameters an int array and its size and returns the index of the last occurrence of the largest element of the array. Also, write a program to test your function. So, not only does it take the largest element of the array instead of the smallest, it actually takes the last occurrence instead of the first. Now, the first thing that we need to do here is get to writing our function. So the first thing that we need to do, we need to take more or less the same approach as we did in the last program exercise. So first we need to write in int last largest index. And then we need to write in constant int x, comma, int size x. There we go. After writing that, we need to declare the function at the bottom. So we can just copy and paste what's here. Now I'm going to replace this with list size. And then I'm going to replace this with list. Now after I do that, I'm just going to remove the semicolon, enter a couple of times, enter those curly brackets, and now I'm going to write in int counter. Now chances are you've probably already watched the video and you already know what all of this does, but I'm still going to explain it to you either way, because there's some stuff that changes, and it pretty much changes the entire function. So right here, you see that we're going to have the counter, which is pretty standard. We're going to have the counter to see how much our array has repeated. And then we're also going to have max index. Now max index functions a lot like the last variable that we had to control the index. Now what max index does is it is the index of the largest and the largest number with the largest index as well. And now it's automatically going to be equal to the list size minus 1 because that is just converting it into the index. Now we can write our for loop. Now we're going to have a couple of little changes here. We're going to have to write in counter, which is more or less which seems to be the same, but counter is going to be equal to list size minus 1 because it needs to start from the max index, obviously. And now counter is going to be while counter is greater than or equal to 0, then counter, as long as it's repeating, then it will get subtracted by 1. And now if list max index list counter then max index is equal to counter. And then we return max index. Now that is pretty much the end of the function. Now you can see that this is pretty much almost the exact same thing as what we had before. Except in this case, this sign is actually flipped. And this is pretty simple. It's slightly more complicated than the smaller part, but it's still not very hard to understand. Now we need to create a program in order to test this function. Now the first thing that we must do is we must come here and write in constant int array size is equal to 15. And now int list array size. Now we can see out. Now keep in mind this is going to be the part where we actually get the value for our this is going to be the part where we get the value for our array. Now we write in int I is equal to 0. Keep in mind you can also do this in a for loop style manner by doing it like for I is equal to 0. I is less than 15. I plus plus CIN list I. And then once we're done with that, we can see out and out. And now we can see out the position of the last occurrence of the largest element in the list is array size and L. And after that we have to see out the largest element in the list is list last largest index list array size. Endo. So you can see here that the so this will work much like how it did in the last programming exercise, where it inputted the first occurrence of the smallest element in the list. Oh, by the way, this is supposed to be just in. Anyways, the last largest index, and there we go. So that should be very good. Now we're going to run this program. Hopefully it does work. And I think I missed something here. Let's see. Oop, I see what I did wrong. I'm supposed to write int right there. Let's try and run this again. Enter 15 integers. Now I'm just gonna do what I did previously. I just had this notepad file with what you can do is you can pull out a notepad plus a notepad file, much like this, and this notepad file will you could also use the random number generator, which I had told you about in the previous lesson, where you have all of this stuff and it can generate numbers. Now what you can do is you can take those numbers, put them inside the notepad file, copy them, put them in this format, copy them from there, and then I can just come here and paste. The position of the last occurrence of the largest element in the list is 5, and the largest element in the list is 95, which is correct. Now I hope you all had a good time coding this program exercise along with me, and I hope you guys have more fun programming like this, because really programming is fun, and as long as you make it fun, it can be anything you want. I'll see you in the next video, guys, and I'll see you in the next video, and bye.